Hello everyone and welcome back to the Dublo Railway. I'm focusing here on two Kobos. The one in the foreground, those of you who are in the know will realise that that's a two-rail body. It is sitting on a genuine three-rail chassis, and the one in the background is a three-rail body sitting on a genuine three-rail chassis. Now there's quite a price differential between a two-rail Kobo and a three-rail Kobo, and the same is true for things like 08 shunters, Cocos to some extent, cities. City of London sells for a great deal less than City of Liverpool, and there's also a fair price differential between a three-rail West Country and a two-rail one. And over the years, for reasons that I don't think are at all nefarious, people have been converting two-rail versions of these locomotives to three-rail, and that's all very well. The pickups and so forth can be found, but there are sometimes ongoing problems, and that's what I'd like to focus on today. Specifically, how do you deal with the fact that if you don't put uninsulated wheels on these things, the pickup capacity is limited. So while the centre rail is fine, especially if you use genuine pickups, there is often a problem over points and things like that, sometimes on curves, and so I'll get a couple of 08s on their back and just put power to them, and you can see how the problem manifests, and then I'll have a bit of a talk and a little demonstration of one of how I've got around this problem, and two proposals for getting around the problem with my 08, which is set up for three-rail but in fact started life as two-rail. So let's get to the test bed. Okay, so let's have a look at a genuine three-rail chassis and see what happens when power is applied. There we are, and there we are. Good connectivity on all six wheels, assuming that six wheels would all be in contact at the same time. Okay, so now I'll have a look at the 08 that started life as a two-rail model. Okay, so here's the two-rail. Running perfectly well there. Nothing there, nothing there, nothing there. Running well there, running well there. That's, sorry, we'll just get that back into shot. That's the problem. And that can manifest itself in uncomfortable ways on points, on curves, and even on uneven track. So I'm going to canvass a couple of solutions that I've thought up. One that I'm aware of, but I'm not going to try, but I'll talk about it. And then I'm going to have a look at how I solve this problem with a Coco diesel, with a Deltic. So one day I was browsing innocently on eBay, and look what I saw. Now this was advertised as three-rail, and it gives a bit of colour to the layout, I thought. So I went ahead and I bought this, and it was not a great runner, but I serviced it and things improved a little bit, but it was sticky over points and on some curves, and that got me curious, and you're about to see what I discovered. So here's part one of the discovery. This is the underneath of the blue Deltic. Notice. Now we're running. So nothing there. Now, if we pop down to here, we've got a genuine three-rail pickup bogie, but the motor appears to be off a two-rail. So I suppose the next thing to do is to show you how I cured this problem. I'm the first to admit that what you're about to see is not a solution that's open to everyone. I'll just pull this into view. Okay, so what we have is the original purchase and something from the spares bin. Now this is a motorless 2-rail chassis with a body from my spares bin, and what I've done nothing more than tie these two together with a drawbar off a castle, and that's all it's taken to make this run perfectly over points. It's a lovely low-speed runner. It's lovely and quiet, and the next thing to do is to get some couplings on this, and then it'll be back in service. There we go. Now, as I said, this solution is not open to everyone, and there are other solutions. I could have hunted around and found a set of a three-rail pickup bogie. The other thing that I've seen done is conductive paint applied to insulated wheels, and that's had some success. Anyway, this is my solution for this. As I said, I had a chassis without a motor. It was a 2-rail chassis, and the few extra wheels have improved connectivity beyond all imagining. A lot of the 2-rail conversions come unstuck, coming off these points and on to the next set, and look at that, just straight through. That's a great result as far as I'm concerned. Now this runs equally well in the opposite direction. So there we are. So the next thing is I'm going to move on to the 08s, and again I have one solution, well maybe a couple of solutions that may not appeal to everybody, and I've already mentioned it with this example. The other solution, of course, is to use some sort of conductive paint, again, which I have seen done. Okay, so we'll move on to the 08s from here. Well, I suppose this is kind of predictable. What I've done is I've reversed the magnet in one of these so that they can run with a cab at either end. Now, this is not a great solution because essentially it means that instead of having 2 shunters, I've effectively got one. It's also an expensive solution, and I think ultimately it's not prototypical. But anyway, you can see the result. It runs nicely across the points, which I suppose is what we're looking for. And if I were going to do this permanently, what I would do is I would do away with the nylon couplings, and I'd put a metal link between them. Anyway, it's not my ideal solution, nor for that matter is taking these any further apart and painting conductive paint on. So really the next step, as I see it, will be that I either get a wrecked chassis, a wrecked Wren or Hornby Dublo chassis. To me it doesn't matter whether it's 2-rail or 3-rail, and it has to be wrecked because I'm not going to wreck one to do this. And I turn my 2-rail, my original 2-rail 08 shunter into a class 13. My preference is maybe to find a Bachmann or a Hornby chassis that I can I can have a hack at. I really don't want to go at one of these. So anyway, that's the proposal at the moment. It's probably going to take me a few months to find what I want and then to construct everything that I need. I think that I'll probably end the video here. There's a lot more to say about 2 to 3 rail conversions. I'd like to discuss the steam locomotive, so maybe there'll be a part 2 to this, because as I said in the introduction, cities, some castles, 8Fs, definitely West Countries. This happens to them all, and we need to find a way of making sure that if it is done, it's done properly and that they run properly. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, and I'll send this off into the sunset. There we go. See you next time.